What's up, techies? Josh here, and I want to put together a video, and it's going to be a live stream here on YouTube, which is what you're watching, and we are going to be talking about the HTC U Ultra. I kind of wish they would just make it Ultra instead of saying U Ultra, but anyways, it's just a lot of letters to say, kind of like the LG G6. I don't know. Anyways, I want to talk about this. I've had some time with it. I've had about a week or so now. So I guess you could consider this my full review about it. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, kind of hit the highlights and some of the low points that I found out about the device, and see if it's something that you might be worth purchasing. So let's go ahead and dig into what I don't like about it. Then I can kind of talk about what I like about it, because there's actually, to me, more positives than negatives about it. What's up, Techzilla? Congratulations for being first commenter on this video. Unfortunately, though, I don't think the comments carry over to once the video is finished streaming. So you'll have to go back and hit first again. Anyways, yeah, and if you have questions about this, I would love to answer this for you. Battery life is the first question that comes from Mr. Dang. And the battery life, is pretty much anything that you're going to get these days. There's not many phones that are going to be horrible. It's definitely not like the HTC Thunderbolt back in the day, to where it was just the worst battery life I've ever experienced with any phone. So they've definitely come a long way since then. But yeah, the battery life on this, it definitely lasts me all day. Now, I consider myself a power user. I consider it, when I say a power user, I mean like I'm on it most of the day. I use full brightness. I don't use any kind of power saving kind of options or features, and so it's still able to get me through the entire day. With that said, with it being so big, this is definitely one of the biggest devices I've had in a while. And what's really interesting, though, is like with the Note devices, they've really dialed down the footprint of the device. If you caught my video yesterday, or if that was uploaded over the nighttime, I got the LG G6 on hand, and this is a 5.7 inch screen, which is like crazy, because these both have, let me see if I can get the screens turned on for you. They both have 5.7 inch screens, but obviously this is a much smaller device. So it's pretty crazy to me that they could squeeze a 5.7 inch screen in this size. It doesn't feel like a big phone at all with the G6. But anyways, some of the reasons why this is a bigger device is because you got that secondary display, something that's kind of ripped off of the LG V20 and the V10. It's a cool feature. I like it. It's kind of, what I like about this feature is that the notifications are not intrusive. So if you're in the middle of doing something, you don't get like a pop-up. You don't get something that pops down over here in the notification shade. You kind of get that notification up here. So I like that. It's not intrusive, so it's pretty cool. Down here at the bottom, the chin. Now, yeah, a lot of people are saying this is a waste of space, but they actually have stuff here. They got the recents button, the home button, which is also the fingerprint reader, and then you get your back button there as well. So, yeah, it's a big chin, but at least they're using the space. The Pixel, it's got that huge chin at the bottom, and there's nothing on it at all. So you got to give them some credit to actually being able to use some space. The complaint that I do have about this is the part that I don't like, is that the buttons are too far down. I tend to want to go aim towards the middle of the whole area, and there's times I'll miss it, or it doesn't exactly have the best contact when I hit it. So I think it needs to be raised up and centered, so that way you just don't make any mistakes. But that's issue number one, which is not a huge issue. The other one is that if you discovered, I made this video about vlogging, and it's a new series that I'm making called basically Will It Vlog Well, or Will the Phone Vlog Well? So the HTC Ultra is the first one that I did that with. The problem, though, is that, well, put it this way, it's only a problem if you're using the phone like me, if you're going to edit videos from the device itself. If you toggle on in the options, there's HD audio. It is going to make it into MKV file, which I use Premiere Pro on a pretty, beastly PC, and it can't take those kind of stuff. Like the Premiere Pro Final Cut, all those programs, like the top editing programs, don't recognize MKV files. So you either have to, like two options, you can transpose the files into another file, like an MP4 file, but the quality, like from the programs that I was trying to use, it just wasn't the same as what the original was. So I reshot the entire video, which was kind of frustrating because it just took a lot of time to make that first video, so I had to redo another video. That's what you saw with the playground video, with the cinematic one and also the vlogging. So it was kind of a pain to have to go through all that. But if you toggle it off, you're still going to get like the 4K video quality, but you're not going to get quite the same HD quality for the audio. It's still good audio, but not quite as nice. So that's my other complaint about it. The other complaint is that we have these headphones that come with it. They're good headphones and all, but it's directly a USB-C connection. So you can't use these headphones with anything else. You have to use it with this device or whatever else that comes out. So that, you know, it's not a huge deal. Like, I like to use these because they actually, the sound quality is really good. I'll get that in a second. But you can't use these headphones anywhere else. Other complaint would be just the back. It's going to be prone to fingerprinting, and I haven't come up with any scratches because I did have a case on it. It comes with a case, so that was pretty cool. And you know, I would just be afraid if I didn't have a skin or a case on it that it's going to get scratched up pretty well. But the build quality overall feels really good. So we can kind of transition into the good things about the device, because I really didn't find that many negatives that were deal breakers per se, other than, well, I can say the software kind of sucks a little bit. The UI, it's better than what it has been in the past. There's not as much bloatware as what it used to be, but you got themes that you can download and stuff like that. So you can really change it up and customize it to your liking. But as far as the menus go, it kind of, you know, it's closer to stock Android, pretty much stock Android kind of look. But there's just some of like the icons and things like that weren't that great. But you could change all that with Nova Launcher or, you know, the themes app that you got here. You can change everything down to the fonts and everything, so it's pretty cool. So that is a good point. It's very customizable, so that's a great point about the HTC Ultra. But the things that I want to kind of to highlight about this device is, one, I definitely like the big screen. I was using a Google Pixel, just the regular 5-inch one, since I moved away from the iPhone 7 Plus. And goodness, I didn't like that screen much at all. One, the size and also the resolution wasn't as great, and the battery life wasn't as good on that smaller Pixel. But like with this device in particular, it was able to last me all day, which is a good thing. Other highlights about this is I always go for the camera. Like if it has a bad camera, I'm not going to use the device, but this actually has a really good camera in my opinion. It's not like the best one out there, but it's really good. And you can kind of check out some of the footage that I made with the cinematic video and also the vlogging one. All right, let me check out some of these comments real quick and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, I actually edited the whole vlog video on the device itself. So that was a challenge. Excuse me. And to clarify that, the vlogging video, I still had to reshoot a couple things to make the video clips work. But that Power app, let me find that app so you can, I'm trying to remember what the app was called. Power Director Studio. It's about, I paid for the $6 one, so that way I could get all the professional features and all that. So I edited that whole vlog on this phone itself. So, I mean, it's an option, but it's just not the best effective way to edit videos, especially when you're used to using like a computer to do it. But the cinematic video, I reshot all that, and then I went over to my PC and edited that kind of stuff on Premiere Pro. So, but the footage itself is really good, and you got some really cool features with the camera. And just some little things that I kind of pay attention to. I like having the ability to flip the camera, all the shutter controls and all that kind of stuff down here at the bottom. Plus, you got a ton of options up here. You got hyperlapse, slow-mo, pro mode, all that stuff. So it's got a lot of good features, and I like a feature-heavy camera because of all the different abilities that you can do. And that's not something that you get with a Google camera. Other highlights, just things like normal usage, like a phone call. It sounds good. And the stereo speakers sound really good as well. I was actually pretty impressed with it. It's got the boom sound. So let me see if I can go to a royalty-free music setup real quick, let you hear it. Because I was pretty impressed with it. The sound is really good on this phone. And that's with the phone speakers and the headphone jack. I don't see any Android device or company that's trying to act like Apple. I don't get that kind of thinking at all. There's not a phone other than the iPhone that is pretty much just like an iPhone. Alright, let's see how this music is. I have no idea what the music is. I just got to pull it up a royalty-free one so we can try to listen. And hopefully you can hear it well. I got the volume all the way up. What's up, James? So you get sound coming from the bottom, but you also get some sound from the earpiece up at the top. And it sounds pretty good to me. My throat is dry as a bone right now. But it sounds really good to me. Let's skip ahead, see if there's any good. So yeah, that's just a little sound clip example. But watching videos, playing games, all that kind of stuff, the sound is really good on this. The HTC boom sound is great. And then it's even better when you have their headphones that you include with it. The software, I can get into that. It's buttery smooth. There's no issues as far as performance goes. And I like that a lot. Excuse me. So the speakers are like the iPhone setup to a degree, but the iPhone sounds pretty good because it's got the stereo speakers and all that. Back to the question about the software experience, it's been smooth. It's been there's been no bugs. I've not had any kind of app crashes. So it's been a good performer and all that kind of stuff. I mean, shoot, we can go through here. This is just the stock launcher that it comes with. It's not the best looking. Like, it's the UI is what I don't really care for in these kind of aspects. It's weird to me that they got this kind of look, but then when you go into the settings, it looks like stock Android. It's just really kind of confusing. It's like, go one way or the other, don't split the difference. I'd much prefer this look over what they got going on for the launcher. But again, you can install Nova Launcher and get whatever look that you want. But yeah, it's been a good performer. Games have been pretty smooth on it. I don't do like the heavy games, but I do stuff like the 8-ball pool, the shooting games, all that kind of stuff. I know, man, like a lot of people are bashing this device. It's not like the perfect one. It's definitely not going to really, it's not going to outdo the G6 or the Galaxy S8 when it comes out. But I think it's a really good device. It's not a bad one. There's just a few things that are just kind of like they could have done a lot better with. But my major complaint, and I almost forgot about this, is that it's only GSM. And HTC is not going to be able to sell a device well if they don't provide it on Verizon or even Sprint. It's got to be available to all the major carriers. And so it's a GSM only phone. And that's kind of frustrating because my main line is Verizon. I've got Cricket on the side, so that way I can test these kind of phones out. But it's like you can't compete with anything else if you don't offer it on Verizon. Because whether we like it or not, Big Red is one of the best, one of the biggest, and probably for a long time will be the one that all carriers are trying to be like. So you got to offer it on Verizon if you're going to do well. And especially like in the area that I'm in, Verizon is king. There's not many people that go outside of Verizon just because of the coverage and the support for my particular region. And so if I talk to someone about something, hey, I would recommend this device to somebody, but I can't recommend it to anybody that lives in my town. So that's kind of like an issue. That's where the Moto Z fails. Yeah. Um, the Moto Z, it was weird. Like I used the Z, it was a good device, but not enough to keep it. Like it's a good backup device to me. I don't know. But any other questions about the HTC Ultra? Because I've pretty much covered all the bases that I really want to talk about. It's a good device. I like the design overall. Like I'm not a huge fan of this kind of glossy back. You know, I was gonna bring out I've got the Honor 8. This is the best glass back I've ever used, but I got it covered up by a SLICKWRAPS skin. This is such a good skin too. It's the hemp skin. I've got this and it on my MacBook, and it looks on point. But anyways, you definitely want to get a case or a skin for this anyways, because just as the time that I've been holding it, you might be able to see there's a bunch of fingerprints there. And I just got cleaned up. I just took a shower, stuff like that. So it's not like my fingers are all oily and greasy or dirty and stuff. But it's definitely a huge device. And especially now that we have the G6 out here. Just a little disclosure. I'm in a beta program with HTC, and they sent this device for review. I was able to keep it for about a week. I got to ship it back today, as a matter of fact. So I would keep it if I were able to, but I'm not able to. This is a review unit. But I tried to use it as much as I could throughout the week time trial period that I had. And I mean, I'm pretty good with this device. I like it. It's not been a bad experience, other than just trying to edit the videos that have the MKV files. But that's really it. I mean, you're going to get great sound. You got a great screen. You can see it outside. To me, there's not much to complain about. It's just really minor stuff. A lot of people complain. I think the biggest complaint is the waste of space kind of stuff. And like I said, I think the company that wins the award for the waste of space is the Pixel, because they got nothing going on down here at the bottom. And then up here at the top, they got that secondary display. And that's just one of those preference issues. It's like if you like it, you're going to like it because of the non-intrusive kind of notifications. But if you don't like that feature, it definitely is a waste of space. So any more questions before I wrap this up? Because I'm fixing to hit the end broadcast. Pixel is hideous. I've got such mixed emotions about the Pixel. It's not a bad phone, but put it this way. I felt worse spending the money on the Pixel because of the lack of features, the lack of all this kind of stuff. It's great that it's stock Android, all that kind of stuff. That's wonderful. But I spent about the same money on the Galaxy S8 Plus that I just pre-ordered, and it's packed full of features. And, you know, some I might not use, but some that I probably will end up using. And shoot, man, that device looks stunning. I'm really digging the LG G6. I'm actually streaming with another LG G6, my silver one. And if you caught my video about the unboxing, you would have found that out. But yeah, it's interesting. But HTC is supposed to be releasing another device, and hopefully that's going to be available on Verizon, which should be open to the masses versus just a select group of people that only have GSM. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's going to wrap up this video. I recommend it. The price tag is a bit high for this compared to the other kind of devices that you could get. When it is done and said, this device, the G6, when I pre-ordered it, you know, after taxes, fees, and all that kind of stuff, is about $760, and this one, the retail price is $750. So that's where it struggles. I almost forgot. It's not water resistant either. That's the other major complaint. I mean, 2-3 years ago, it was not a deal breaker, but now that so many other devices like the G6, the iPhone, the Galaxy devices, they have water resistance, and so it's almost a necessity at this point. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully HTC can't. They're on this weird track. I don't know. The M10 or the M9, all that kind of stuff. They were good devices. I didn't like the size. I like the size of this one. I like this one better than any of the M series. Put it that way. But they got to offer it to everybody for it to do well. and for me to recommend it to friends around me. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this live stream. If you did, share it with your friends and family. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all those kind of social networks. I've got so many videos that I have planned to do. I got LG G6 stuff. I've got some more iPhone content. Also, I want to show off these skins that I got. I got the honeycomb one for the iPhone, so that's good. I got a life-proof video they're going to work on. So yeah, I've got quite the stack of videos to get out there and pushed out. And if you didn't know, I'm starting a videography business. I actually started it a few months ago, so I'm busy with that too. I'm in the middle of editing a wedding video that I shot 2 weeks ago. So yeah, there we go. That's going to end this video. Thanks guys for watching. Stick around. Thanks for commenting. And I'll catch you guys the next time. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. And until then, stay techie.